A week or so now, I was watching this memeless video. This one here, is it on screen? Okay, good. I know it's over a year old, and saying I'm late would be an understatement, but it did get me thinking, what happened to YouTube? The old YouTube they look at in this video. These sorts of videos used to be fun, and you could tell the creator was doing it because of that. They seemed fun to make, they were fun to watch, they were good content. What happened to that sort of content on the platform? Now it feels like those videos are hard to come by. They're scarce, and why can't I find creative videos on this platform anymore? I titled this video for a reason. What happened to YouTube? Okay, well, it has a little to do with the algorithm. A lot to do with the algorithm, but it's not YouTube's fault. If you're asking what about the YouTube algorithm changed, let me explain, and bear with me. It's a lot of information, so I do have it all written down here. People who are my age, who are now teenagers, who grew up with YouTube, we entered YouTube at the end of the clickbait era. Videos were boosted and pushed onto your For You page based on how many people clicked on them. It didn't matter about anything else, which is why you have a lot of thumbnails and titles from that sort of era, pre-2016, that have nothing to do with the video. And at the start of the watch time era, videos were pushed based on the watch time and the amount of the video that you would watch through. YouTube figured out that if a video had a high click rate, but very little people watched all the way through, it was likely a case of clickbaiting, and the video probably wasn't about what it said it was. Unlike during the clickbait era, where this wouldn't have mattered, during the watch time era, it became important. Videos were no longer pushed based on click rates, so you couldn't just title a video something completely unrelated so that it would reach more people. It doesn't work like that anymore. We have something like the algorithm we had during the watch time era, but not quite the same. More explanation. More reading off my big long. There's more explanation to that. In 2016, YouTube brought in their machine learning model. This algorithm grew even more specific person to person based on what you would watch. Say you watched a Flamingo video. Instead of just suggesting another gaming video, it would suggest you maybe a J&G video or another creator that a lot of Flamingo viewers would watch, should you interact with that content. And this goes for anyone. Watch a lot of Tommy Innit, you might get some Jack Manifold in your feed. This hasn't changed much since 9 years ago when it was introduced. Well, Jack Manifold, in one of his videos, made a very good point. That most of what we're seeing is slop. Not actually meant to entertain us, but to keep us watching so the analytics look better and the video gets pushed to more people. Essentially, it makes more money. Basically, it makes more money, it keeps getting pushed, and it has no intention of us actually being entertained by what we're seeing. The money made from this, lack of a better word, slop, is a big motivator. I mean, you have so many people hooked on something that they're not actually being entertained by, and you have them watching mid-rolls and pre-rolls and post-rolls. Is that the name for it? I don't know. But you have them watching more and more ads, and it makes you more and more money. It doesn't really matter if your audience likes your content. It just matters that you're getting monetized from it. You become the product. Your attention being sold to advertisers, and the quality of the video irrelevant, essentially. One on Reddit, so keep in mind what I'm about to say is not verified. It's just kind of a hypothetical here. It's probably not that accurate, because, it's from Reddit. YouTube videos make 1/3 of a cent per view. That's $3 for... I failed math. Give me a second. 3 cents per 10 views. 30 cents per 100 views. 300... No. I can't do math. $3 per 1,000 views. $30 per 10,000 views. $300 per 100,000 views. Do you see where this is going? $3,000 per million views. $30,000 per 10 million views. It keeps going, and while it doesn't sound like that much when you look at it per view, as the numbers keep going up, it does sound appealing, doesn't it? With all this in mind, it is very easy to take analytics personally. You might make a video about something you're really passionate about, like me making this video. Hi! And have it only get 10 views. I love all 10 of you. Finish the heart. Thank you. And then you might make a video your heart wasn't really in and have it get 600 views. Just gotta remember that there's a chance that those 600 people who watched that video didn't think it was anything special. And then the 10 people who did watch that video thought it was the best thing they've ever watched. Which one sounds better? Sure, on paper it sounds better, but I think I'd take the 10 people who genuinely loved the video over the 600 who didn't really care about it. My point is, as much as analytics can bring you down, and I know a lot of people who have been brought down by analytics who have gone on hiatuses or quit because of it, it's not indicative of if what you're posting is actually good. And then there's the money side of things. Maybe you spent some of your personal money on a video that didn't perform very well, and you never see any of what you spent back on that. Then you see what feels like mass-produced slop with 10 different ad breaks, and it makes it hard to push out videos, even if you are just doing it for the hobby. It goes from what happened to YouTube to, was YouTube ruined by corporate greed? Whoa, okay, that can sound a little harsh. Let me explain what I mean. When we look at those, albeit less than reliable figures, no offense, Reddit, the money side of YouTube does sound appealing. So true or not, these are the numbers being spread about what you make off YouTube. Why aren't there more Logan Pauls? Said no one ever. So true or not, if these are the figures being spread about what you can make on YouTube, how you can get rich off YouTube, why aren't more people trying to be Logan Paul? Said no one ever, but why aren't there more Logan Pauls? Why aren't I trying to be Logan Paul? Why aren't I trying to nail his formula? Can we blame the people that do? I mean, we see him and MrBeast and other creators flaunt how they got rich off YouTube, so why isn't everyone? Could we really be surprised if a lot more people joined trying to make soulless, unoriginal content just for the monetary side of things? The platform does already have an influx of these type of people. I'm lucky enough to not have them on my feed, but I know from what I've seen of other creators and from talking to my friends that they definitely exist. And then there's my generation, the older teenagers who grew up on YouTube. Less and less of us are joining YouTube out of the love of it. And then it feels like the people that do want to make a career out of this, again, people my age, it feels unachievable because we're being buried under people who want to push their content for the sake of getting rich. And then it feels practically impossible to make original content to begin with, let alone find entertaining content that's worthwhile. Even this video isn't completely original. People have been talking about this for ages now. This was inspired by George Memeless. Memeless? You get what I mean! Even if this video is structured differently to how most people are talking about it, it's still not completely original. I'm spending all this personal time writing, filming, and editing it because I want to make the type of content that I would want to watch. But when the platform feels like it's dying and less people are watching things because they're being turned off by all the slop, it feels like my passion is misguided. I love watching my videos back and excitedly yapping to all my friends about the process of my last video or the idea behind my next one. It was my parents' dismay when teachers would ask me what I'd do with my life if money wasn't involved, and I'd say YouTuber, and even more so when it didn't stop after high school. Do I get to be one of those kids who gets to have their dream job when they grow up, or is it like a lecturer or a lamplighter, a job that won't exist anymore? Looking at all I've said, it can be demotivating, but I think my answer's no. Corporate greed hasn't ruined YouTube. It's come close, but I have to keep believing that there is some market for creativity on this platform, regardless of whether that's the truth or an overly optimistic hope. As of July 15th, YouTube has demonetized the low-quality, mass-produced videos I talked about, which should hopefully free up room for the people who use the platform to express their creativity, who share videos with real thought put behind them. And the fact that YouTube's doing that tells me that corporate greed hasn't ruined YouTube. Now, this leaves one more question. How do we know it's worth posting original content on YouTube? Let's look at LD Shadow Lady, Smosh, Potter Puppet Pals, iJustine, and Stampy, who all started on the platform out of a love for what they were doing. Their videos are a reflection of this, in my opinion. They were all put on the internet with the intention of sharing something that they wanted to share, not out of what kept your attention the best. And I don't know how to explain it better, but all their content was entertaining. You kept watching because you enjoyed it, not because you felt like you couldn't click off. You could leave, you just didn't want to because you liked what you were seeing. And now online there aren't many creators who do that, let alone ones my age. Honestly, I can only really think of Setting Suns and Max GGs as content creators my age. There's probably a lot more, but those are the only names that come to mind when I think of YouTubers my age who post out of the love of it. I just don't feel like that there's as many young content creators as there used to be. Maybe that's a good thing. The internet can be horrible and you have enough to worry about when you're a teenager, but it just gives off the impression that less kids are seeing this as a creative space. With the new YouTube restrictions, I doubt we're going to get an influx of people making AI slop, essentially, or anything along the lines even without AI. But inevitably, there will be a few get rich off YouTube people who are pushing that idea to kids. But there is somewhat of a bright side. I mean, look at how many creators I can name who do this out of passion and enjoyment rather than trying to get rich. The amount of creators who push that mindset, while they are powerful, aren't large in number. That says to me that it is worth putting effort into posting original content. My fears of my passion being misguided are just that. Irrational fears. Because someone will see this. Hi, by the way. Hope you're enjoying if you've made it this far. Maybe just like, there's a button somewhere down here. Like, maybe here. If you're full screening, it might be here. Phone, it's like there. I don't know. Can you just subscribe, please? I'd appreciate it. You don't have to, but like, I would like it if you did. And there's a chance that the person I just talked to, hi again, likes watching this as much as I liked making it. YouTube is a hot mess right now, but it's not the end of everything. Humans are creative by nature. That is a rule that has no exception. We will keep finding ways to be creative on YouTube, and there will always be someone who appreciates it, or maybe even inspired by what you create. So if you've ever wanted to create content on YouTube or on another platform, and you're worried that it's not worth it, maybe it is. Someone wants to listen to what you have to say. It's just up to you to say it. Anyway, that's all I had to say on the matter. Sorry that the background's probably not the prettiest, and it changed a few times. My laptop decided it wasn't going to charge properly. Thank you if you've made it this far, and I'll see you later. Bye!
What reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?